Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Together we can do great things. Hand in hand out loud we sing. Once go eyes we are and shall be for the whole world to see. We follow Saint John Bosco, a friend our God forevermore, to help those in need and spread love and kindness. That's what we're called to do. Salute, salute, John Bosco, to him we all and over transform. Salute, salute, to John Bosco, we strive to be like him. Equality is what we believe in. Unified is how we win. Giving our best in all that we do, and to always be true. Being loyal to our country, to live in peace and liberty, to trust in the caring God for our well-being, raising our voices we sing. Salute, salute, to Don Bosco, through him we learn and know we transform. Salute, salute, to Don Bosco, we strive to be like him. We strive to be like him. We strive to be like him. Ganamana adinayaka jayatu Bharata bhagya vidhata Punjab Sindh Gujarat Maratha Dravida Utkal Ganga Vindhya Himachal Yamuna Ganga Uttal Jaladi Taranga तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाए तव जय गाता जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे Jaya 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 India is my country. All Indians are my brothers and sisters. I love my country and I am proud of its rich and varied heritage. I shall strive to be worthy of it. I shall respect my parents, teachers and all elders and treat everyone with courtesy. To my country and all my people, I pledge my devotion. In their well-being and prosperity alone lies my happiness.
Our theme is Black Ribbon Day. 23rd August is known as Black Ribbon Day as this day symbolizes the rejection of cruelty and atrocities committed by Hitler and Stalin during World War II.
See, there was one scientist who strongly opposed the World War II. He's none other than Albert Einstein. Today, let us acquaint with the life of this very well-known personality.
Hello and welcome to Famous Scientists, the show where you get to learn about people who seem to know just about everything.
We'll begin when Albert Einstein was 5 years old. His father, Hermann, showed him a magnetic compass. Watching its floating movement aroused his curiosity.
Wondered what caused it to behave the way it did. Why did the compass's needle stay almost still while my father turned the casing around and around in his hand?
Einstein was too young to understand the answers, but he never forgot the feeling of wonder and mystery. Later, he wrote that watching the compass had taught him an important lesson, that something deeply hidden had to be behind things.
Einstein was an inquirer from a young age.
Yes, and a thinker too.
Curious little boy grew up to become a curious scientist who spent his life trying to identify what was behind things.
Our special historical correspondents will now take us on a journey to Einstein's life.
Albert Einstein was born on March 14, 1879 in the small town of Ulm, Germany. The next year, the family moved to the larger city of Munich.
My entire family had a strong influence on my life. My mother, Pauline, played the piano and she shared her love of music with me. When I was 6, she encouraged me to take up the violin. My violin would be a constant companion for the rest of my life.
Seems like Einstein had role models from childhood.
Having good role models really helps shaping our lives.
The teachers in school seemed like army generals, only drilled students to memorize information and facts, instead of encouraging us to think independently and seek new answers.
So sad for young Einstein.
Yes, Kushi. We're lucky to be in DPIS where our teachers give us plenty of opportunities to explore our talents.
Einstein was too smart and intelligent for that school. Eventually, one of his teachers suggested that he leave the school. At 15 years of age, Einstein joined his parents in Italy.
Einstein's family had moved to Italy to start a new business. But shortly after they settled there, Einstein moved again, this time to finish school in Switzerland. When he was 17 years old, he was accepted by one of the finest universities in Europe.
I prefer hands-on activities to lectures, so I spend more time in the laboratory developing my own ideas. Most of my university professors agreed that I might have a very bright future if only I would learn to follow established rules.
Siri, the more I come to know about how Einstein preferred to learn, the more grateful I feel to our school and its teachers.
Look, Kishi, I'm sure Einstein would have loved to study at DPIS.
Einstein found both the time and place in 1902 when he took a job as a clerk at Bern in Switzerland.
During those years of steady work and strong friendships, Einstein began to develop ideas that would change science forever. For further coverage, we turn to our resident scientific historians, Dr. Arthur and Dr. Douglas.
Einstein's thriving curiosity had led him to research, study, and give a great deal of thought to new scientific theories. He soon felt confident enough in his results to share the ideas he had developed.
In a mere 6 months, Einstein changed over 200 years of accepted scientific theories. The scientific community was amazed at my ideas.
It does take a lot of courage to do something nobody has trust in.
Then, in 1915, Einstein came up with the general theory of relativity. Newspaper headlines around the world announced the findings.
Overnight, Albert Einstein became one of the most famous people in the world. Some even proclaimed that he was the most influential person in the 20th century.
I knew that I could use my fame to draw attention to issues I cared about outside of science. One of my most deeply held beliefs was that war should be avoided. In 1914, I was one of the only 3 scientists who signed a letter speaking out against German military activities and against the country taking part in World War II. Despite my and others' effort to promote peace, Germany moved closer to the war in the 1930s.
Finally, Einstein decided to move to the United States. He took a job at Princeton University in the United States. In reaction, German military troops seized much of his property publicly, burned many of his papers and books, and denounced him as a traitor.
For the next 22 years, I continued working to expand my ideas into new areas. Some people thought that I was losing touch, but I didn't pay attention to this criticism.
Yes, indeed, it is so important to think one's own self.
Einstein was not an inventor, yet his curiosity led to the creation of many useful products such as television, cameras, remote controls, etc.
Creation and improvement of a wide range of products, including shaving cream, toothpaste, personal computers, CDs, and cell phones, was theories and concepts established by Einstein.
It's amazing how Einstein's discoveries and equations provided the foundation for today's scientists.
Until his death on April 18, 1955, Einstein's curiosity kept him working to understand nature's greatest mysteries.
We now request Father Crispino to share his thoughts with us.
Okay, good morning to all, and happy to see all.
Good morning, Father.
Good morning. Happy to see all your faces here, though it is on the screen. Yeah, but some of your faces I'm seeing after a long time, especially Vianush's face. His hair has become like Amitabh Bachchan. Yeah, and those big specs, he's looking very serious and studious. Yeah, and all my other friends, good to see you. Now, coming to your assembly, I think your assembly is the theme of your assembly, the Black Ribbon Day that you are emphasizing on, is a well chosen topic, you know, and it is very well connected to the life of Albert Einstein. Yeah, since Albert Einstein, as you said, was one of the few people who opposed what Hitler was doing in Germany and the Second World War, which caused the death of many Jews, you know, in Europe. I don't know if you remember, you know, in our school we had 2 students, you know, you remember their names? They left last year, I think. Was one girl in your class, the sister was in your class. The brother was
Noam.
Noam.
Noam. Yeah.
Noah. And what are the girl's name?
Noam and let's forget the sister's name. Judith, do you know?
Amana.
Amana.
Amana, Noah and Amana. They were Jews. Yeah. So I remember their parents were very sensitive to any topic on Hitler because they had experienced the brunt of uh, all what was happening in Europe at that time. Now, what I'd like to share with you today, my dear students, is recently there are so many of these WhatsApp messages going around, and in one of the groups, I got a WhatsApp message, sorry, of a letter of Albert Einstein. I don't know if some of you have come across that letter of Albert Einstein. It is one of the letters that Albert Einstein had given to his daughter in the year 1938. Lyseril was the name of the daughter. And he had given her a bunch of letters and he told her, you keep these letters with you and don't release it or don't make it public till about 20 years after I die. Yeah. So the letters, they say, were then given to a publication house in the year 1980. Yeah, that is about 20 years from now. And I will tell you something about one of the letters that has gone viral. Yeah, is Albert Einstein says that when he came forward with that theory of relativity, that famous formula, E is equal to mc square. E stands for energy, M stands for mass, and C is for the speed of light. He said many people did not understand what I was trying to say, and he was misunderstood by many people during his lifetime. And he says there is another force that is prevalent in this world which many people have not discovered yet. He has written in that letter, and he calls that the force of love. He says love is a very strong force. Love is like light. Love is like gravity. It attracts people. It is a very strong force, and many of our problems in the world can be solved with this force of love. So all the wars that we people are trying to fight against each other can be overcome. All hatred that we have against each other, against countries, can be overcome by this force of love. It's a very strong force. Yeah. And then I did further research to see, whether this letter was really written by Albert Einstein. And if you go on the internet, you will find that it is not true that Albert Einstein wrote this letter, though it is attributed to him. Yeah. Albert Einstein gave a couple of letters, to his daughter, but they are not even sure whether it was this stepdaughter of his Lyseril, who received, because she died in the year 1903, and she was a handicapped child. Yeah, so there is a lot of ambiguity about whether Albert Einstein wrote this letter. But whoever wrote the letter, I think the thought behind it is very strong, that in this world there is a very strong force which attracts us all together, and that force is the force of love. So if we can bank on this force, we can make use of this force, then it will help to take away a lot of hatred and a lot of fighting that goes on amongst us as classmates, among countries, one against the other, and it will bring people together. And especially now in this time of this pandemic, when people are suffering, people are in pain, it is the force of love that can bind us together. So congratulations to Toril, Judith, yeah, and all those who are involved in today's assembly. I think you all have very well researched on your topic of Albert Einstein. There are a lot of questions in the question bank there. I don't know how you're going to answer that. And I think you all are also very good at chatting because there are lots of chats also going on at the same time. So once again, congratulations and all the best. Have a nice day. Thank you.
India COVID-19 recoveries. See the biggest single day rise of 6,09,120.38 lakh recoveries reported in the last 24 hours as per the latest Union Health Ministry update. The overall deaths. See the second biggest single day rise of 1,092. Total testing at 8 lakh one on the previous day.
Pune has found out a way to do classes without going online in this time of lockdown.